18th November 2009. Our Dhamma talk will be Samanya Lakkhana, which was explained in our previous Dhamma talk. As you know, there are the Four Noble Truths expounded by the Buddha in his discourses. The first truth is dukkha satya, the truth of suffering. The truth of suffering is dukkha satya. Both mental and physical are dukkha satya, the truth of suffering. Because every mentality and every physicality arises and passes away, so they never last very long, so they are impermanent. So, because they are the nature of rising and passing away, so they are called dukkha satya, the truth of suffering. The arising and passing away of mentality and physicalities are called sankhara dukkha. This dukkha, suffering, is caused by kilesas, especially by tanha. This dukkha is caused by kilesas and especially tanha. Tanha, lobha, raga, these terms are in the same sense. In terms of noble truth, the Buddha used the word tanha. Tanha is greed, desire, craving, grasping, clinging, and so on. This tanha causes all kinds of suffering to arise. So it is the cause of all kinds of suffering, dukkha. Because tanha is the cause of suffering, the Buddha said it is samudaya satya, the truth of the cause of suffering. I'll repeat, dukkha satya, the truth of suffering, is both mental and physical phenomena, nama and rupa. Samudaya satya is the cause of suffering. So samudaya satya is tanha, greed, desire, craving, grasping, clinging, attachment, and the like. Your voice is not loud enough for audience. So, greed is the cause of suffering. Samudaya satya, desire, is the cause of suffering. Samudaya satya, craving is the cause of suffering. Samudaya satya, Grasping, is it the cause of suffering? Samudaya Satya. Clinging, is it the cause of suffering? Samudaya Satya. All of the to discover all the sense of tanha, we have to use all of these terms. When this tanha is completely destroyed, completely removed, then there's no tanha. If there's no tanha, there's no suffering, because tanha is the cause of suffering. When the cause is destroyed, there won't arise its result, effect. So when we have completely removed this tanha, completely exterminated this tanha, then we don't have any kind of suffering. When there is no tanha, there is no suffering, dukkha at all. Then dukkha, suffering, ceases here to exist. Then we experience the cessation of suffering, nirodha satya, the truth of the cessation of suffering. When we experience the cessation of suffering, it means we attain to Nibbana. Nibbana is it the cessation of all kinds of suffering, nirodha satya. So, if we want to get rid of suffering, dukkha, we must remove its cause, tanha, samudaya satya. To remove tanha, samudaya satya, what we need is to have what we have is to wanting to get rid, realize dukkha very well. Only when we completely and realize dukkha, both mental and physical phenomena, dukkha satya, then we want to get rid of dukkha. When we want to get rid of dukkha, then we have to find out the way which leads us to realize the dukkha very well. To realize dukkha, the truth of suffering, dukkha satya, then we have to develop the Noble Eightfold Path, which leads us to the cessation of suffering. Because we do not really and completely realize dukkha, mental and physical phenomenon, we are attached to this dukkha. If we are able to completely realize the true nature of this dukkha, mental and physical phenomenon, we won't be attached to this dukkha. Then we have detached from this dukkha. Then we can destroy, remove its cause, tanha, samudaya satya. If we completely realize or rightly understand the true nature of dukkha satya, nama and rupa, mental and physical phenomena, then we would have detachment from this dukkha. To rightly understand, to completely realize the true nature of mental and physical phenomena, which is a dukkha satya, the Buddha teaches us the right way, the correct way, which leads us to rightly understanding and realization of dukkha. It is called Magga Satya, the truth of the way leading to the cessation of suffering. This Magga Satya, the truth of the way, has 8 factors. Those are Sammaditi, right understanding, Samma Sankappa, right thought, Samma Vacha, right speech, Samma Kamanta, right deed, Samma Ajiva, right livelihood, Samma Vayama, right effort, Samma Sati, right mindfulness, Samma Samadhi, right concentration. Magga Satya, the truth of the way, is composed of these 8 factors. Out of these 8 factors of the path, Sammaditi, right understanding, is the main factor. When we develop these 4 noble eightfold paths by means of satipatthana, vipassana meditation, then gradually we are endowed with these 8 factors of the noble path. Then we have Sammaditi, right understanding. Then we can rightly understand dukkha satya, nama and rupa, mental and physical phenomena, dukkha satya. Then we can realize it completely. So when we have realized dukkha satya, nama and rupa, mental and physical phenomenon, then we don't want to attach to it. We want to get rid of it. When we want to get rid of it, we come to realize this dukkha satya is caused by tanha samudaya satya. Samudaya satya, tanha, is the cause of suffering. So when we can completely remove the cause, that is tanha, samudaya satya, then we won't have any suffering at all, and we attain the cessation of suffering, nirodha satya. So the Buddha, even in his first sermon, Dhammacakka Pavattana discourse, he mentions dukkha satya as a prañeya, samudaya satya as a prapahatapa, nirodha satya sachikatapa, magga satya pahatapa. Here, dukkha satya is a prañeya, the Buddha said. Prañeya here means the truth which must be thoroughly realized. That is a prajna. So, dukkha satya, both mental and physical phenomena, must be thoroughly realized, completely realized, rightly understood. It's a prajna. If anyone wants to get rid of dukkha, suffering, he must remove or exterminate the cause of dukkha, the cause of suffering. That is a tanha samudaya satya. So tanha samudaya satya is a pahatapa. Pahatapa here means the truth which must be completely removed. So tanha samudaya satya must be completely removed. When there is no tanha, there won't arise any suffering, dukkha at all. Then we have got rid of suffering and dukkha. In this way, the Buddha, in his first discourse, Dhammacakkappavattana's discourse, samudaya satya is mentioned as pahatapa. So samudaya satya, tanha, the cause of suffering, must be completely removed by a person who wants to get rid of suffering. Then to remove, this is the cause of suffering, tanha samudaya satya. The Buddha teaches us the right way which leads us to thoroughly realize dukkha and to remove tanha samudaya satya and to attain the cessation of suffering. That is magga satya, the truth of the way leading to the cessation of suffering. So samudaya satya is mentioned as bhavetapa. Bhavetapa means the truth which must be fully developed in us. When we fully develop this noble eightfold path, we have the 8 factors of the path, including samadhi, right understanding. Then we are able to rightly understand dukkha satya, the truth of suffering, nama and rupa, mental and physical phenomena, completely, thoroughly. So here I'll repeat, dukkha satya, the truth of suffering, is a prajna which must be thoroughly realized by a meditator. Then samudaya satya, tanha, the cause of suffering, must be completely removed, pahatapa. Nirodha satya, the cessation of suffering, must be experienced. So it's called satchikatapa. Then magga satya, the truth of the way leading to the cessation of suffering, must be developed in us by means of Satipatthana Vipassana meditation. So it's called Bhavetaba. That Samudaya Satya and the 8 factors of the path are nothing but you have in your mind when you practice mindfulness meditation. For example, when you observe the rising movement and falling movement of the abdomen, first of all, you have to put some mental effort to be mindful of the actual movement of rising and falling process. That mental effort is called the right effort. Right effort, Samma Vayama, because it leads you to the destruction of all mental defilement, including tanha, and leads you to the cessation of suffering, nirodha satya, nibbana. So it's a right effort. When you are mindful of the rising movements of the rising movement and falling movements of a process, then that mindfulness is Samma Sati, because it leads you to realize Nama and Rupa, mental and physical phenomena thoroughly, and remove the cause of suffering, Samudaya Satya, and attain the cessation of suffering. So that mindfulness is a Samma Sati, right mindfulness. When you observe, when you are mindful of rising and falling movements of the abdomen, repeatedly, say for about 20 minutes, then your mind is concentrated on the rising and falling movement of the abdomen to a certain extent. So that concentration is right, because it leads you to the cessation of suffering. This is Sammaditi, right concentration. Sometimes, though you strive your best to observe rising and falling movement of the abdomen, the mind doesn't stay with it. It goes off. It thinks about something else. Then one of a mental factor, which is called Samma Sankappa, right thought, keeps the mind to the object of meditation, keeps the noting mind to the rising and falling movement of the abdomen. That mental factor or mental state which keeps the mind to the object of meditation is called Samma Sankappa, right thought. In this way, the mindfulness, Samma Sati, Samma Vayama, right effort, Samma Samadhi, right concentration, Samma Sankappa, right thought, keeps the mind and concentrate it on the object of meditation. Gradually, the noting mind becomes more and more deeply concentrated on the rising movements and falling movements of the abdomen. Then, because concentrations deepen up, there arise insight that realizes rising movement and falling movement as just the nature of a movement, without being conscious of the form of the abdomen, without being conscious of the form of the body. It realizes or experiences just rising movements and falling movements. No abdominal form, no bodily form. He is unconscious of this, the form of the body and the form of the abdomen. What he experiences is specific characteristic, sabhava lakhana of wind or air element, just a movement. Later on, with deeper concentration, meditator comes to realize, or insight knowledge comes to realize, a series of tiny broken movements of rising and falling. At the time, it comes to realize samanya lakhana, the common characteristic of mental physical phenomena, that is anicca, impermanence, dukkha, suffering, and anatta, impersonal nature. Because it realizes one movement arises and passes away, another movement arises and passes away. In this way, many series of movements arising and passing away. None of movement is permanent. Every movement has to subject to distract passing away. So they are impermanent. Because they are impermanent, they are suffering. Because they are suffering, they are neither an everlasting soul, nor an everlasting self, neither a person nor a being. Meditator realizes it. In this way, meditator experiences impermanence, suffering, impersonal nature of the rising and falling movement. This is a realization of samanya lakhana, common characteristic of mental and physical phenomena. In this way, meditator thoroughly realize dukkha satya, the truth of suffering, both mental and physical phenomena. So he has no attachment to nama and rupa, mental and physical phenomena at all. In this way, he removes tanha, attachment. Tanha, attachment, samudaya, satya. So the Buddha said, tanha, attachment, samudaya, satya is to be removed completely. Then in this way, meditator proceed with his practice. Then he will be able to more and more completely, more and more thoroughly realize dukkha satya, nama and rupa, and then he will be able to attain magga jnana, path knowledge, and phala jnana, fruition knowledge, and the cessation of suffering, nibbana. So the dukkha satya, nama and rupa, mental and physical phenomena, is to be thoroughly realized by a meditator. That's why the meditator practices satipatthana vipassana meditation with a view to thoroughly realize the true nature of mental and physical phenomena, or sabhava lakhana, specific characteristic, samanya lakhana, general or common characteristic of nama and rupa, mental and physical phenomena, which is dukkha satya, the truth of suffering, so that he can remove the attachment. Then he can attain the cessation of suffering, nibbana. So may all of you be able to rightly understand how these Four Noble Truths are, to be rightly understood and applied to your meditation, your mindfulness meditation, and try your best so that you have continuous and constant mindfulness for the whole day, and deep concentration and clear insight into mental and physical phenomena, dukkha satya, and then attain the cessation of suffering and be able to get rid of all kinds of suffering.